Okay, thanks everybody for coming. I want to start out by saying thank you to Nicole for inviting me to do this. It means a lot to be part of something so meaningful in Council Bluffs, but one, I'm not a public speaker, so I apologize. I'm just going to tell a few stories, and I know a lot of the people in this room, so I feel pretty comfortable. First of all, I want to apologize for any teachers that I may have had growing up. You know, we got a lot of high school. They're probably all not teaching anymore, but I wasn't the best student, so I apologize to any of those teachers, and especially in speech. I can't believe I'm up here speaking in front of everybody because a couple speeches that I gave were not great, so bear with me here. I want to start out with just talking about the importance of sports in Council Bluffs, but I want to do it with the 3 Ps. I call it the potential, pride in Council Bluffs, and also the power of words and action. So I've had an opportunity, like Brenda said, to coach lots of kids, be part of lots of sports programs, and you know, I think the stories pretty much tell what's happening. So I got a little story about myself. When I was 9 years old, I got my first scholarship to the YMCA. And by the way, Brenda, I was drafted also, but I was drafted to the Navy and not to the pro athletes. So, and I always think I'm funny, and my kids tell me I'm not. So, but anyway, the potential that we have as young athletes. I started out, I got my first scholarship to play flag football at the YMCA, and I had to wear a Dallas Cowboy helmet. It wasn't my favorite team, but that was my first sports experience, and I didn't know what a scholarship was. And fast forward 40 some years, and now I am giving out thousands of dollars of scholarships to kids in this community, and a lot of them in this room probably received scholarships from the Y. Fast forward to the next year, I got to play Rams football, Council Bluffs Rams football. Did anybody participate in the Rams football as a youth? We had Coach Wolf, who's passed away. He became my father-in-law for a while, but he was one of these guys that you had demanded excellence in sports, and I learned a lot from that experience. And we're going to skip the next 15 years because there was not much excitement about my sports career from there. But I'm going to fast forward to Abraham Lincoln, where I became a letterman athlete, and I don't know if he's here today, but that year we won 4 or 5 football games. And you know, now kids are winning. You know, Justin Cameron has kids going 12-0, 13-0, but 4 or 5 at the time. When we played the Metro League, that was a good season. We beat the Benson Bunnies and then all the local teams. I don't know if that was the last time AO beat Blue Central or not, but and you know, I don't want Brian Mainward to fact check me on this, but I think we won 5 games. I can't remember if we won 4 or 5, but that was important to me as an athlete. And you think about as your career develops, you know, these guys have had opportunities to play professionally and go through the ranks, but my high school days of football, I played flag football, and one of my claims to fame is I played against 2 professional athletes. Is Brian Radigan here? No, good, because I can tell a story about him. So as a senior in high school, I got to play against Brian Radigan, who went on to play for the Colts, and one of his catches, his quarterback threw a really high screen pass to him, and he was up here like this, and I made a really good tackle on him, and I'm like, oh, that's great. That became one of the highlight reels of our end of season banquet. So that was a claim to fame that I got to tackle somebody that played professional football. The next thing I did was we played Creighton Prep High School, and Junior Bryant, one of the football players there, was 6'6", 6'7", huge big. I'm 6'6", 7". Some people think the kids probably don't. Anyway, we played against Creighton Prep, and second play of the game, Junior Bryant came around pulling guard, and I was a defensive end, and he knocked me so hard into the ground, and I got up, and I was like, man, I was hoping to quit by halftime. To be real, I wanted to quit after that play, but you know, he ended up playing for the 49ers and had a successful career in athletics. And the point of these stories is not that I became a professional athlete, like these gentlemen here and these women here. I played sports, and I learned so much through sports as a kid. And so, you know, everything is not about being the professional athlete. It's learning, getting involved with your sports teams, and growing as a kid, and learning, you know, that there's scholarships available. So every kid has opportunities to participate. So. And I just feel like everything that we do in our lives has a ripple effect on what we do in the future. And me being a YMCA director and starting my sports career as a kid that got a scholarship, everything has a ripple effect from your coaches that coach you, your fellow players, your mentors, the community at large. Having this many people here to support these athletes in the community, it all makes a difference in how we succeed in life. So, coaches, everybody give the coaches that you've had a hand with. Now I'm real technology. My technology's messing up. Hold on a second. And I know many of the athletes here. I know many of the coaches here, and there's always something about it. It's that slight edge that they create, that they practice a little harder, they participate a little harder, they have a coach that cares about them. Those are the important things in sports to me. I've seen lots of kids grow up in sports, from the kid that was able to start and not have any idea that they were going to become a professional athlete, to the kid that at 5 years old you could tell they were going to go somewhere. So it ranges everywhere, from the kid that doesn't know what their potential is to the kid that has become successful through lots of support. The next thing is just pride and history in Council Bluffs. When they asked me to help get names, and as a professional fundraiser, I got my fundraising boss over here. She always says, "Leo, go make that ask. Go make that ask." It's funny how I had everybody's phone numbers. So when Nicole called me, she's like, "Leo, do you have so and so's number?" I'm like, "I got it right here." So I helped get a lot of the people's names, and maybe we'll call you for fundraising at some point in time. So just a little bit about the history that I see in Council Bluffs. The YMCA Basketball League, I talked to Tom Hannafin the other night at Mayor Walsh's kind of going away party. He told me when he first started coaching, helping with basketball, they had 47 kids playing basketball through the YMCA. In 4 years, they had 47 teams playing basketball at the YMCA. So thinking about that, there was probably 5 coaches at that time, up to 47 coaches that were mentoring and coaching these kids in Council Bluffs. And now you look around, there's so many basketball teams and so many sports teams and so many venues like this that give these kids the opportunity to participate at the highest level possible. So that's important. Next thing is I have a friend, Justin Cameron. I told him I was going to use his name today. The importance that he's put on development of kids and programs in Council Bluffs. Think about how many kids in the last 4 or 5 years have become college athletes because of Coach Camrad and his team at Lewis Central. So give Coach Camrad a hand for what he does. About pride in the community, I was with Matt Johnson at Barley's getting ready to watch the TCU football game. How many of you guys know Max Duggan? I think, is he here? Max here, but I think I saw maybe his parents here. But the pride that came out of having somebody from Council Bluffs, Iowa, be able to compete in a national championship game at the highest level of college football, that was pride. And it wasn't Lewis Central over here, TJ over here. I went to AL. It used to be AL versus Lewis Central versus TJ. But when it comes to Council Bluffs now, once somebody makes it, there's lots of pride in what we see in that. Matt had a big blow-up TCU guy outside his place, and everybody, my friends that were from AL, from TJ, they were all there to watch Max Duggan. So that's the importance of when people make it in Council Bluffs. And you talk about a blue-collar, grit young man. I was just so honored to have him part of Council Bluffs and what he did. So then we have the rich history of wrestling in Council Bluffs. I can name thousands of kids that have become successful. We got the Thomas Gilman, Kilgard brothers, Bill Smith. I've never met Bill Smith, but I used to wrestle at TJ, and his name was always up there, so that's important. And then the Paulson twins that are coaching with the highest level. And you got Scott Porter and his boys. I'm hoping to see a lot of those names around the gym at some point in time, because you anticipate that they're going to make it big someday. And quick story on that: my son wrestled. If you guys know wrestling at all, he wrestled Gable Porter, Stevie Barnes, and I lost the name of the third person, but that was his wrestling practice every day. And I told Scott Porter, I said, that's why my son became a basketball player, because he was tired of getting beat up every day in practice. But now he's a high school coach. See, that's the ripple effect. You get beat up enough, you do something different. So And then just a couple more stories. John Lieber, if you guys don't know John Lieber, he graduated from Abraham Lincoln. He's not able to accept his award today, but he's been a friend, and I graduated with his brother. These are people that have become professional athletes that still see value in being part of Council Bluffs. John donated to help the YMCA, our new YMCA. He helped, you see his name on the Lieber Field up at AL, the John Lieber Field. Those are important things, but the thing I remember most with John is that we asked him to come up and speak to our 12-year-old baseball team. We were up at his field, and we're like, hey, the name that's on this field, this guy's getting ready to come talk to you guys and give you guys some advice. And his story to those boys was all about overcoming, adapting. You know, John wasn't the greatest athlete in high school. Bob is his buddy of his. He wasn't the greatest baseball player. He was, but he became one of the best baseball players in the country as he grew into who he was. And, but his story to these kids made more of a difference to me than the donation he made to the Y, because several of those kids went on to play college sports because of, not maybe necessarily because of John, but he doesn't know that impact that he's going to make on those kids. So. And the last thing I think we forget about in Council Bluffs is Iowa Western sports. I see a couple of the board members here from Iowa Western, and I talked to Dr. Pinney the other night at Mayor Walsh's thing. I don't quote me on this, Brian Mainward does all the fact checking, but I think he told me they've had 25 national championships over the last 10 years in Council Bluffs. And they've created a spirit of winning in Council Bluffs. And that's what I'm all about, is getting kids to go out and win and compete at the highest level, whatever they're doing, whether it's band, whether it's basketball, whether it's football. It's just to go out and compete because, you know, Council Bluffs is a blue-collar town that has a lot of pride, and we just got to keep that pride going. And this behind us right here, I think, is what helps grow Council Bluffs. So, in closing, I know I've told enough stories. I just want you guys to know that, you know, as young athletes and kids in our community, is always remember your roots, put forth your best effort, and remember how important your words and actions are to others. So as you talk to younger kids, I know we have a lot of the high school kids that go talk to the kids at the elementary school level. That's important stuff. So remember, you can make an impact, and thank you for having me.